Hey everyone, it's Tuesday. I'm Tony George from DocSports.com. You know what that means. The NFL Week 5 opening line report. Of course, this is interactive, so you comment in the comments section. We have to filter out the comments because of all the F-bombs and unsavory types, and then porn sites putting links up because they know the demographic, mainly male. We have some females, but mainly male. I'm sure most of you would like me to leave those in there, but I can't. This is family entertainment. Also, competitors putting links up to their picks page. Instead of going out and earning their own clients, they try and poach ours. So, I'll read the comments. I get hundreds of them. I put some of them up, not all of them, but I do read most of them, 90% of them. I have other things to do, like handicapped NFL and college football, Major League Baseball playoffs, this, that, and the other. So we'll get those up for you. And be sure also, I'm just letting you know, to tune in to the Gridiron Six Pack I do with Griffin Murphy. We went 5-1 on that show. We 3 college, 3 NFL picks, 5-1 last week, 67% on the season. Putting out 6 in one show, we put out 7 picks, a lean in there. So nonetheless, be sure and tune into that. It's well worth your time. We break them down for you. It's fun. Griffin's relatively new to the site and a great guy, and cutting his teeth, baby. Come on. Tune in. All right. I've seen some of these lines, not all these lines. I try and decompress on Monday. We did have an unbeaten week, 4-0-1. We pushed on a teaser because I teased the Colts up. What was that? But I teased the Colts up off of Pick'em to +6, and it landed on 6. And we won the other side of the teaser with Philly teasing down. Barely. So let's talk about it. Let's take a look at these lines. Remember, these are initial thoughts. These aren't deep dive handicap leans. It's me and you having a cup of coffee at the diner in the morning, waiting on our French toast and bacon or pancakes. I'm a pancake lover. Nobody can make French toast like my wife, so I just soon eat it at home. So, and we're just talking about the games, a couple of guys shooting the breeze. Let's take a look at them. Let's go. All right, on Thursday night, we got Chicago Bears catching 6.5, total 44 at Washington. Let me double check that. That line's still active at 6.5. I definitely used Washington in a teaser. Tie it in with somebody on Saturday. Get that down to a half point. Now, Sam Howell, I said, up until the Buffalo game, he's an NFL quarterback. And then after the Buffalo game, I thought, well, he's not. Then we saw him last week get his head out of his butt and play like he's been playing all year. So he had a bad game, and he's basically a first-year starter. So these young kids are going to have bad games. Now, Fields just continues to just not. Chicago, you got beat at home by a team. They got lit up for 70 the week before, got beat by 50, and went on the road and laid a number, and you blew a huge lead. I can't trust Chicago. I can't trust anything about them. Primetime dogs on Thursday nights are usually very attractive. Chicago's not attractive at all. Yeah, I don't know what that says about Washington in that overtime loss to Philly, more so than maybe it's a statement with Philly. We'll talk about that in a minute. I could lean favorite there. If it gets to 7, I don't want anything to do with it. Jacksonville, back-to-back weeks now in London. Put it to Atlanta. No surprise, because Atlanta's offense, their game plan, their everything just sucks. Buffalo off a huge win, laying 5.5 in this game. Looked unbeatable against Miami. Defense played well. Total 48.5. That's a road trip for Buffalo. I'm not interested. I would only be interested in the underdog, but I might be very interested in at least having a discussion about the under 48.5 in that game. New Orleans Saints on the road at New England. Oh, Matt Jones, what a disaster. New England, what a disaster. Saints, no better. New England minus 1.5, total 40.5, down to 39.5. Opened up at 38.5. Wow. Who's going to score? Who's going to score? New England, probably the better team. Believe it or not. At home. They should have beat Philly. Last week, they just ran into a buzzsaw. Got a pissed off Cowboys team. They turned the ball over like crazy. I mean, let me look at something here. Like I always like to tell you guys, money line minus 120 New England. I'd sniff the under too. Baltimore on the road at Pitt, laying 4.5, total 38.5. Pittsburgh just laid a dud down in Houston. Houston's better than you think they are, but with Pickett out, you've got Trubisky and Mason Rudolph versus the Ravens team that looked pretty decent last week. Man. Total seems low, but let me look at a live line on this one. 38.5, yeah. Pittsburgh offense is broken. I'd say Baltimore by a touchdown there. New York Giants, what a pathetic performance. I had Seattle on Monday Night Football, and I hate taking Seattle because they're my Achilles heel, either for them or against them. Pete Carroll always chomps on that gum and just screws me. But I took them last night because I thought they were the better team, and found out that they were the better team. Now the Giants are catching 10.5 at Miami, minus 10.5. I would definitely tie Miami up with Washington, as we talked about to open up the show, in a 2-team 6-point teaser, get them down to 4.5, because Miami's going to be wanting some payback, and New York Giants are going to be helpless to trade punches with them. But I don't get involved in double-digit spreads in the NFL. Carolina +9 at Detroit. Wow. 44.5. Again, another teaser option with Detroit. Down to 8.5. Carolina gave Minnesota a ball game, but Minnesota's not all that good. Carolina gave Seattle a ball game. They lost to New Orleans by 3. At Atlanta, they lost by 14. They probably can lose by more than that at Detroit. Detroit's had a little added time to prepare as well. Definitely use Detroit in a teaser. 44.5 seems about right. I wonder what that team total is on Detroit. You might want to look at that and take the over there. Houston catching 1 at Atlanta. I have not seen this line. Total 41. Yeah, they're catching 1. 1.5. And still they're minus 105 on the money line. Because they're going to win. Atlanta's quarterback situation. Ritter's just not an NFL quarterback. And they're not utilizing their running game. And Houston, Stroud, of all the rookie quarterbacks and even the first-year starting quarterbacks right now, Stroud's just getting better every game. And they got a good running back. The guy's doing a hell of a job coaching them. 2-2. Who'd have thought they'd be 2-2 by now? You know. Both teams 2-2. Something's got to give. I could only lean Houston there. Definitely, but maybe tease them with Detroit. Tease them up to +7. Get Detroit down to -3. There's a winner chicken frickin' dinner. Tennessee catching 1.5 at the Colts. 42.5. After that performance Tennessee gave last week and the one that Indy gave, And yet the line, it still has them as an underdog, as a telltale sign something's off. I could only lean the Colts. 42.5. It's telling you. Telling you. That thing stinks to high heaven. What do you think? Yeah. When doing this 32 years, I can tell you, when you see a line that doesn't make any sense, you go with the unobvious choice. More times than not, you're going to win about 60% of the time. Bengals at Arizona. 3 on the road. Total 44.5. They're giving the Cards +3. But I don't know what's going on with Cincinnati. Who'd have thought this game, 4 games into the season, that these two teams would have equal records at 1-3. 0-2 on the road, 1-1 at home. Cardinals beat a better team than Cincy at home. And they say, don't put a lot of stock into what you saw last week in the NFL, because teams could be Jekyll and Hyde, like the Commanders, pardon me. The Commanders were the week before against Buffalo, and then turn around and do an all-world performance. Against Philly. I mean, Cincinnati, though, they've been just bad all year. I can only lean Arizona. Right. Burrow's he's not healthy. Dobbs has done okay for Arizona. They had a tough chore last week with, San Francisco's the best teams in the league. You can't judge them off that. They beat one of the better teams in the league in Dallas the week before. And they only played 2, they should have beat the Giants too. They should be, 2-2. Philadelphia on the road at the Rams. Rams catching 4. Total 50.5. Well, I need to know the status of Stafford, because he had a banged up hip. Let me look at this live. 4.5. Rams are 4.5. Pulling up an injury report. He's not even on it. If Stafford plays, look, Philly's finding ways to win. They're 4-0. They've been gifted. Almost every game they play this year is going to catch up with them. That's a long road trip. I'd only lead the Rams. If Stafford plays, I'm on the Rams. Total seems a little high at 50.5. Kansas City on the road. 4.5 point favorite against the Minnesota Vikings. Total 53. Kansas City. Minnesota's got no secondary. What are you going to do? Travis Kelce over on receiving yards. Expect Mahomes to tighten it up. They look like crap against the Jets. Still won. The Jets, speaking of the Jets, they're on the road against Denver, catching 2. Total 43. So what's Denver have besides the better quarterback? And Wilson played a lot better against Kansas City. Played almost a perfect game till he fumbled the ball. Going to check down receivers. They run the ball well. I would say they have better skill position players than Denver across the board. Offensive and defensive. That's right. Wilson's better than Judy. You give me the Jets. Definitely put them in a teaser +8. Definitely put them in a teaser +8. The Sunday night game is the Dallas Cowboys catching 3.5 at San Francisco. Total 45. San Francisco. Green Bay at Las Vegas. My God. Is Garoppolo coming back? The rookie didn't look bad, but he threw the game away. And speaking of that, again, The Chargers need to fire their frickin' head coach. Staley is a complete and utter buffoon. He is a monster liability for the Chargers, who must be off this week. They are. Yeah, they're not playing this week. Okay, they must have a bye. Good, because their quarterback hurt his finger badly, I hear. He gave Las Vegas the ball on the 35-yard line with the game on the line, just like he did against Minnesota the week before. Neither Minnesota, off the 4th and 1 debacle, handed in the ball inside the 40-yard line. They couldn't score. Las Vegas gets down to the 3-yard line, throws a pick. But anyway, Green Bay got smacked around. I can't trust Las Vegas. I can't trust their coach. That's Monday Night Football. 44.5 is the total. I probably would lean. I'd lean early here, Green Bay. Let me see how Garoppolo coming back and what the injury situation is in that game. But I'm assuming that Green Bay is a little bit better than what they were against the Lions. And, well, the Las Vegas Raiders are exactly who we think they are. They're going to have a battle with Denver to see who finishes last in that division. Now, we'll have our picks out on Thursday. We're off an unbeaten week. We're not bragging about it because the NFL the week before we sucked. But we got back with the board there. Okay, we had a plus $1,500 week this week in the NFL. Let's continue that, and we're going to kick some butt on Saturday in college football. We've had a 2-week slump there. I'm turning that around. It's going to be a big weekend over at Docs. Tune in to all our free plays by subscribing on this channel. You get a notification when myself or anybody puts up free picks on the channel. You can get the freebies you want. Leave me your comments. We'll go through them. We'll post them. Have a great week. Let's get into week 5 and kick some butt and take some names. Booyah.